Hello, 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 people. How are we all tonight? I hope we are doing good. Let me share this out to a couple places and then we will get started. There we go, sharing it on Twitter. Let's grab it. Let's share it in our own Discord. Um, I don't know where else to share it. I got lots of places I can, but wonder whether it does any good. Okay, so let's. Okay, everything's set. Okay, so we need to put this layer above. Need to bring this down. Wrong layer. Whoops. Way too thick. That's not thick enough. Let's go up to 20. Okay. Hey, Rebellious, how are you tonight? Getting our frame here. Okay, so we're gonna put that frame down. That will. I was modding for another channel earlier. Cool, cool, cool. That's always good. Okay, so now we bring her up. But we do need to shrink her again. Although you never saw the size she was. She was just a wee lass when we started this. Now we're going to make her a wee, maybe not quite as much of a wee lass as she was, but... Okay, so we'll lock the layer there. Add another layer. I might make that slightly bigger. There we go. I'd ask what channel, but I probably don't know the channel, so it would probably be an attempt in futility to ask. Oh, powered by rainbows. I know you've said about that one. I've seen them in your chat as well. Some of the times I've been there. Believe they've even been on your panel before. Also, I hit 400 subs this week. Cool, cool, cool. Congratulations. Are you going to do any celebration, or are you going to wait till you hit 500 to do the celebration? I'm going to do both. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it, but I might do a 750 celebration. If I ever hit 750. Get to a... Oh, yeah, I know. I can believe it. Me getting to 700 was... Well, getting to 700 and staying there was hard for me. And I haven't... I've surpassed it by 1 or 2, but it keeps fluctuating. Okay, we're going to have to move her a little because her arm is interfering. I'm gonna go listen to music and work really hard on the channel. Okay, later, pastry. Have a great night. Don't like... tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. There we go. I think that looks decent. There we go. Okay, I actually think I like that. Hey, what's up with that guy? It's not a guy, Evan. What's up with that alien? It's not an alien? Oh, have you voted on the new poll yet, Evan? I don't think you got to vote on the other ones. Well, unless it was after the fact. Let me bring that poll up. You do a better voice for this one. What's up with that tumor? What tumor? Well, there's a question. Did you watch the Smurf video? Cross comics in the Smurfs. And if so, what did you think? And you were supposed to say it's not a Toma in Anna's voice. Oh, I get it now, I think. It was not a Toma. It was not a Tuma? Well, I did not watch the video. I can't remember if I voted. Well, you can click the link and see whether you did. I think it should tell you if you did. Well, right now, Gargoyles and Mario are tied for first place. Wizard of Oz is running second, followed by Thundercats, which has not got any. I should have voted for. Believe it or not, you can change your vote. You Eagle noticed that you can change your vote. I'm not sure whether I should have told you that or not. I voted for Gargoyles. Thundercats could suck it all the way back in the 80s. Well, there seems to be a lot of people that agree with your opinion about the Thundercats. Well, I'm keeping it tight for now. Oz stands no chance. Rick, I have learned something today. What have you learned today? Well, I think I can do Mario without much research. I think if I do Mario, I'm just going to take 3 of my villains and make them new creatures. I'm not sure what I'll do for the hero for it. I am. I learned that I am sapiosexual. Okay. Whatever that means. Do you know what that means? In other words, I watched a video that said I am sapiosexual. Okay, but what does that mean? And how did it say that you were sapiosexual? Means I am only attracted to intelligence. So you think you could be attracted to a butt ugly woman that was as intelligent as Albert Einstein? I know. I know I can be attracted to it, but how do you know this? Just because a video said so? God. The Bible, because the video tells me so. I'm not shallow. That doesn't mean shallow. That just means preferences. Well, I guess it does either way. It means preference. Usually because people always tell me I can do better, so I just assume the women they're talking about aren't stereotypical. Yeah, well, doesn't mean they're not attractive physically. I remember, it's all preferences. I remember back when I was in high school, I was going to this thing called the Living Rock, and uh, um, it was like a band thing on Friday nights, and one of the people that had come on board for the summer, a student that was in college or whatever, came on, and she was out doing some advertising for the place, I think. And I saw her, and she happened to talk to me and say about that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know the Living Rock. I help out there, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I never said it to her, but I thought she was attractive physically. But then I got a whiff of her personality. And needless to say, I didn't care about what she looked like. I was suddenly very much not interested. What's crazy is listening to the media standard of beauty and people injecting themselves with toxins. Yeah, injecting yourselves with toxins is pretty whacked up. I would agree. Looks are temporary. God bless those who cherish that. Yeah, but they can certainly help get a relationship started. But beauty definitely is not the be and all. And okay, let's take her out for now. There we go. I don't like that. Jeez. Gotta hate it when you do this long line and then you have to erase it, and like half of it is a decent line and the other half is my first week at the new job, a guy with imaginary girlfriend said no one here is bangable, referring to the woman, and that both confused and offended me. I'm not sure what... I get the offended part. I'm not sure whether I should ask about the confused part. Unless you thought, they all had some good-lookingness to them. You know what we're going to do? We're going to see whether we can. V. Vertically. There was very attractive women in there, in my opinion. Some people don't know what attractive is, then I guess. Guy probably just said it because he had, shall we say, tried and did not succeed with any of them. And I just mean going out, nothing more than that. Okay, so okay, let's merge that with the layer below. Hey Joshua, I googled hood and it says hood means a dude with... Is that what this character is? No, it's not. Hey, Eagle. That hood, the way I have spelt it, is an old English way of spelling hood as we know it today, what it means. Because I was looking for, when I was looking up different ways to spell it, spell hood and all that, when I created this character umpteen years ago. Doesn't He doesn't strike me as someone who tries. He seems like someone who feels rejected before even making his approach. Well, okay, yeah, there's probably that too. Gives them a reason to say not even try by saying they're not bangable. Okay, I like. And I guess Joshua is laughing at Eagle's laughing at Joshua Hughes's thing. Okay, so. Probably made that middle part a little too big. It's good to quit early and cut your losses. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Scale and rotate. So let's rotate this and scale it. Evan, what do you think of those Arcade 1 cabinets? 1-up cabinet. Oh, have you, Eagle and Joshua, have you voted on the latest poll? And what did you think of the Smurf video? The cross-connection to Smurf. Did you think it was very Smurfy? S means he's serious, right? Did you read the green yourself? Did you green screen yourself into the Smurfs? No, I did not. So you obviously haven't not watched the video. It was a lot Smurfier than I thought it would be. Well, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I like the idea of the execution leaves much desired. The split cab in Feng Shu Days. The games offered are not particularly desirable. Oh, and if anybody wants... let me get the link to that. Ooh, Gargoyles is winning! Maybe somebody did change their vote? But yeah, I'm watching the original. Is there a story with the Smurf video? A little bit, yeah. I was under the impression that /S indicated sarcasm. Oh, what about with modding with a Raspberry Pi or something? It does mean sarcasm. I was just lying. I own a cabinet for arcade shooters. Like curious. Let's go down to 20 here. Hey, Metal, how are you? And if anybody wants to come on, I'm, of course, in the on-air thing in Discord. You fully support the plan, but I think it might be worth designing your own cab at that point. Rick, is there a story with the Smurf video? A little bit of one. I'm not sure how solid this story is. But I did try and make a story with it. Metal with the elbow cough. I just had to move everything out of the studio except my laptop at the moment, so the carpet guys can rip it all out and install a new one tomorrow morning. Ah, lovely. Hunger Games Canadian edition. No, I'm just... you should have green screened yourself into the picture as Gargish Mesh and stomping the Canadian Smurfs into blue goo. Boy, howdy, I'm hungry, eh? I've been considering also, people seem to really dislike how close the controls are to each other. And hello, Timothy, how are you? Has everybody voted? You know what, I should link that, pin that message. There. I am great. Oh crap, I didn't do any Malvin today. Sorry. I'll do more. I'll be sure to do some tomorrow. Half a chance there's no vomitorium tomorrow, depending on how long it takes them to finish and how long it takes me to set everything back up. Yeah. I just got busy today. But probably I will be finished the cover by the end of the week if I work on it every day. Hey, good evening, John. Good Jubilee that you did there. There are a lot of kits on Amazon for that. You could do a one-up cab and modify the controller board. I think they're too expensive for offering. Hello, who do we have? Is that Evan?
No, it's Metal.
Oh, hey, Metal. I don't know why I thought you were Evan.
Without anything in here to work on, I actually have some time to hop in.
Cool. So, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. Eagle says Gargoyles is the obvious choice from that list. I thought I was almost going to get trolled with the Wizard of Oz, putting Cross Comics characters into the Wizard of Oz. Did you vote on that?
How was that troll? That would be actually the most fitting of all of the choices for your characters.
The Wizard of Oz? How would you think that?
Yeah. Well, because of like the type of character you have. Like you could have the Canadian Shield as the Cowardly Lion. Like that would be funny. His form would fit it, right? You could have, I don't know. You could have like the Wiz be the Scarecrow, right? Because he needs a brain. Like there's a few things that would connect really close in there, from like a hilarious way.
Yeah. Well, that's if I made them the characters. Like, see, I'm making them whole new characters in these universes.
Well, they're also very, very malleable characters as well. I mean, in the Wizard of Oz, it'd be pretty easy to just make new characters in there.
Yeah. Timothy says the Cowardly Shield.
See, that's where my mind went originally. Like, there's a lot of stuff that would poetically match up, right?
Yeah, but the Cowardly Shield, he's not cowardly, though.
That's what makes it funny.
Yeah.
And the Wiz doesn't need a brain.
Yeah.
That's what would make it funny.
Joshua says, Metal sounds like the great and powerful Oz right now.
Pay no mind to the man behind the curtain.
But it's a good thing I'm watching Gargoyles right now. I'm watching the whole series. Just in case everybody voted for that. Or a bunch more.
Hey, Gargoyles is pretty fun.
Yeah. I'm thinking right now to do some sort of Department H type thing. Take Marvel's Department H, apply it to Gargoyles, and they collect all this, do all this stuff. Hello, who do we have?
Hey, John.
Hello there.
How you do?
Can you hear me, Piper?
Yes.
No, I cannot.
Oh, well, check your microphone because Mel can hear me. Idiot.
I think you mean earphones, not headphone or microphone.
I think what I actually mean is your computer setting.
So how are you today, John? Yeah, when he says, you tell him, John.
What's up, Metal? How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you? It's a nice night.
I got a broken hand. I don't have a broken hand. I have an injury on my drawing hand.
Oh, that's not good. What sort of injury?
So when you go to get up off your seat real fast, sometimes you'll use your hand to kind of propel yourself upwards and out of your seat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kind of move your hand to the side there with your thumb and forefinger or whatever, and you push up as you're getting
Put
up.
too much weight on it?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't really paying attention. Well, what happened was like I'm eating dinner and I'm listening to the kid, right? And then I hear bump, and then I hear ah, I'm like scream bloody murder, right? And it was a nice deep hollow thunk, so it sounded like a head thunk, right? And I was like, I jumped to get up out of my chair. I went, put my thumb down on the chair, and my thumb knuckle just inverted.
Ooh, ouch.
It made my toes curl.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that doesn't put you out of action for long.
It's not fun. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, a good thing you're between campaigns, though, right? Like, you're not in the hard part of needing your drawing hand.
Yeah,
Right,
but
just for like food and water. You know?
Yeah.
yeah, just for
Well,
like
I looked it up online. As you do. I look it up online, and they're like, if you don't feel it on the inside of your elbow, then you probably didn't rip anything. You probably just hyperextended it. Yeah. So I don't. It's only localized, throbbing and localized in one area. So I went and I bought a little hand splint, something that keeps my thumb rigid, and you keep that on for a couple days. And then you take it off for a couple of weeks, and then after about 3 months, it should be able to put weight back on it again. But the pain and everything should go away like in a few days.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, are you?
But that's it. That's all. That's up with me.
Are you able to work with it, or how is working?
Yeah, I'm learning how to draw with my forefinger and my middle finger. I'm actually working on something right now.
Oh, nice.
So my thumb is the little cast thing.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps your thumb almost in the same position as if you were drawing.
Yeah.
So realistically, I just gotta kind of put that the thing in my in the crook of the little cast thing. And
yeah, it kind of almost gives you
shabby.
like an arcade hook. Like if you're using a joystick, it just like stays in that fixed position.
Yeah. Or like one of those guides when you're playing pool, like that, right?
Yeah.
Rest your cue on it. Oh, actually, I can actually turn on my camera and show you. Hold on a second. Video. Is that working?
Yeah.
Okay. You see there? You can kind of just kind of rest it right there like normal. But
Yeah.
I can't really use my thumb, so I just gotta kind of draw with these.
Yeah, it's going to be all fingers and elbow. That's all you got.
Hey, I'm a pro. Okay.
It's something, though. You adapt,
Right. There you go.
I didn't get the time for everybody to see. Good. Oh well.
Oh, well,
fine.
I'll put it back on. Hold on a second. People can see.
Although your camera's really blurry.
How about now? If I put my hand in front of this light, maybe it'll be less blurry.
Okay,
Yeah,
everybody.
just a tad.
Okay, so see this thing has like a little crook right there where you can just rest this pen on?
Yeah.
See, normally, you can draw. I normally hook my thumb over, but I can kind of just rest it here and then just kind of draw like that.
How are things turning out drawing like that?
More precise than normal.
Yeah. Well, we've been over this before. You have very odd drawing posture when it comes to your hand.
Do I?
Yeah, I mean, it works for you. That's
don't
all
think
that
it
matters,
does.
but
Can you show what you're
it's-
drawing?
what if it's a secret?
Yeah, give me a second here.
Oh, that's what
I wonder if it is no, I don't think it is a secret. Let me see here. How do I, on Discord, share your screen? Window. Okay, there we go. Can you see that?
Yeah. I got it so everybody can.
Oh no, that's a manly image.
Let me get rid of this line art, or the scratchy doodles for a second there. There you go. That's what I'm working on right now.
Okay.
I'm working on inking it. I gotta kind of have my fingers a little bit on the Control Z,
Yeah, controls that.
because sometimes the line just will not go where I want it to go, and I gotta actually like turn the whole thing to make the line go. But other than that, not too shabby.
What did? Well, that did not slow you down at all, Dillard. It says Timothy.
Say what?
He's saying your injury did not slow you down at all.
Not really, no. Well, it's not like I got a choice about it anyway. The only thing is I do got to take a break every, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes because it starts to pump and throb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go, and then I put my hand above my head for a couple seconds, let the blood drain out of it a little bit. This guy's wearing a T-shirt. I was cracking up when I saw the reference material. It's like a guy wearing a military vest or whatever, but it was like a T-shirt underneath. Like a Hanes beefy white tee.
Eagle's saying Canadian Shield versus Canadian Dragon. Okay, I have no idea what's going on there. Evan says, Rick, did you know Van Gogh didn't kill himself? I didn't even know that people thought he did. So...
Well, there's a conspiracy
Wait, really?
around Van Gogh where people think he was murdered, though that doesn't really line up.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy. Everybody's claiming that his name is actually Van Gogh or something like that.
And technically, the attempt to kill himself wasn't what killed him, but it did lead to his death 2 days later.
How did he try to kill himself?
Shot himself, but didn't take.
What?
Yeah, it was poor medicine that led to his death.
Foot or what?
It's been a while since I read up on it. It might have been actually the foot. Let me look.
Was he the original Epstein?
It was the abdomen.
The Canadian Dragon?
Which is actually a really easy,
gut.
really easy wound to survive if you have proper medicine. But the fact that he was at an inn, I understand why he died a couple days later.
Wait a minute. If you're going to kill yourself, why would you shoot yourself in the abdomen?
Because Van Gogh was a nut. This is why people think it was a murder, but every detail about the murder just doesn't line up. It looks more like he tried to make it look like a murder than anything.
Like the obvious go-to would be your head, right? I'm not tripping.
Yeah, you'd think. But Van Gogh was also known to have like severe depression and mental illness throughout the entirety of his life. So it's not like he's exactly in the right state of mind to be making good decisions.
Yeah, killing yourself's not really a good decision.
I mean, there's good decisions, and then there's good decisions poorly executed.
Yeah. Like, if you're gonna kill yourself, you might as well do it right.
Like, let's go with that. Let's go with that line of thinking and say we've already decided that we're gonna do something. Are you trying to like continue the trend of being a failure in life and then a failure in death?
Yeah.
Like, golly, I would be like, if I want to kill myself, I want to end it all as quickly and as possible. I want to get out of here. I don't want to be here any longer. Why would I linger with a gut shot?
Because you're bad with a gun?
How bad could you're point blank? How bad could you be?
Yeah, and then Evan brings up the fact that like they didn't find any of this stuff where he claims to have shot himself, and why would he return to the inn? Yeah, there's a lot of parts that make it look like it could be a murder, but every theory that they have for how he was murdered just doesn't work. There's a lot of just missing stuff, and it makes equal amount of sense that he tried to kill himself on the spur of a moment decision, was really bad at it. Kind of like, you know, like women always do really weak ways of trying to kill themselves. Like they'll try to take pills or something instead because they just don't have the constitution to do it. And Van Gogh was a pretty weak person, all things considered.
There's a really funny skit on Saturday Night Live a couple of years back. Many years back now, probably. And it was, you want to commit suicide, but you don't want everybody to think you're a chump? Like, you call this, and we'll have you taken out like a man. You can pick whatever you want. Bear mauling, mafia hit. That's the best way. You get a nice big gun, you take a hike up to the highest mountain, and you find a nice big cliff, and you just jump backwards off the cliff while shooting yourself in the face.
But if you're jumping off the cliff, could you miss your face?
Why would you, how, if it's point blank, how would you miss your face?
Because your hand moves as you're jumping?
Because Rick is doing a flip. That's why. Because Rick's trying to do a flip.
Yeah. He's not just, casually just falling down off this cliff with as little effort as possible.
You find the cliff, you turn your back to it, you step backwards until you're at the edge, and then you just let yourself fall back while shooting yourself in the face.
Yeah, you understand that the gun is going to have the same momentum as you, right? It's not going to fall out of place or anything.
Yeah, but will you hold on
I want to die before I hit the ground.
Yeah.
Question is, will you hold on?
Are you talking about, like, what if you have some sort of a panic attack and you try to save yourself?
This is a hard thing to do, Rick. This is actually pretty easy, what he's describing.
Yeah, to me, it just, you could easily let go of the gun. Or,
but why?
But move your arm above your head accidentally and shoot.
You're complicating this way more than it actually is. Again, if you just take a step backwards off the cliff, the gun has the same relative momentum as you. There's no real drag on it any more than you. As long as your hands were exactly where they were, there's no reason they wouldn't line up. You'd have to want to miss at that point.
Yeah. Well, I just
it's like saying fold your arms across your chest and then fall backwards. Your arms don't fly up and away from your body when you fall backwards.
Yeah, but if you walking backwards and you end up falling off,
Well, the intent is to fall off.
Yeah, but if you're not sure when to expect the fall, you could move things. Like arms.
That's probably true, Rick. But then that's why there's safeguards. The fall will kill you. You're fine.
Yeah. The goal is to just not feel the fall.
The goal is to not be alive anymore when the whole scenario pans out.
But if you did mess up for some reason, the fall will kill you.
Yeah, well, I'm not denying that the fall will kill you. I'm just thinking that you might not end up shooting yourself, so you won't end up feeling the fall for that half a second or whatever.
Well, that'd be even better. Think about it, right? I mean, it'd be worse for you, but then you have a cover-up story. You fell off a cliff. The gun was still shot, even if you miss. Then they're just going to think that you were trying to avoid a bear and you ended up falling off a cliff instead.
That could be. That could bear out to be something. Just tape the gun to your head, says Joshua. Jumping. Joshua suggests jumping off the cliff with a noose around your neck.
It's not a bad idea.
That snap will be near instant. You won't feel that.
There was a lady that tried to kill herself by putting her head on a table saw.
Did she saw what killed her?
Rick, I'm talking about a real life person here. I don't know what's up with your joke. But anyway, after she tried to kill herself with a table saw, she failed. And then everybody's like, well, that was a very strange way to try to kill yourself with a table saw. Just to kind of dip your head into the table saw.
Yeah. It's very strange.
And so they were like, well, maybe she wasn't really trying to kill herself. But then if you have the dedication to go ahead and put your head on a table saw and just go ahead and scooch forward enough so that it does actually cut your skull open a little bit, you might want to take it a little more serious than that. They didn't.
Yeah.
They released her. And they had the opportunity to have her in a locked unit, but they didn't. They released her. And then she went and laid down the train tracks.
Watched. Yeah.
Yeah. She immediately went to the train tracks downtown and killed herself that way.
See, another thing
with, again, right? With her head.
A lot of people aren't very bright. And they decide they want to kill themselves, and they do it in the dumbest ways.
Yeah, that I can agree.
Apparently there's a link to a Saturday Night Live suicide hotline sketch where the guy's giving her advice on how to do it. That was pretty good.
Who put that in the chat? Eagle?
I think so.
Like, I remember reading about this guy who tried to hang himself with his socks. Like he tied them together to make like a noose, sort of, right? And he passed out. Like, it did cut the oxygen flow for a bit, but then his weight eventually just stretched the socks into tearing, and he was on the ground and woke up later.
That sucks.
And it's like, socks? Really? Did you have nothing better you could use to like hang yourself? A belt, even.
Yeah, I don't know. I figure, yeah. I didn't know socks were that long to actually like do stuff with.
Yeah, I mean, we had to
Even
tie
my longest
multiple socks together, you know?
Oh, that's dumb.
It was dumb. But that's the type of people, like,
she...
not everybody who kills themselves is bright.
Could that be why they're trying to kill themselves? Because they're not too
Yeah,
bright?
I would argue that unless you were in some extreme circumstance that you're probably not that bright if you're trying to kill yourself. Maybe if you're like a prisoner of war or something like that, or you might get captured. Like, I don't think Hitler was stupid for killing himself, because everybody knows exactly what would have happened to him afterwards.
Yeah, pineapple rape. No, I remember seeing a Futurama episode where Leonardo da Vinci was from another planet of super smart people. And he was dumb. And he went the opposite direction. He's like, I'm going to kill everybody else.
Yeah. And then Farnsworth wanted to join him because everyone on that planet made him seem dumb, too. That was a good episode.
Dude,
that's Futurama.
I don't know
They're
the
all
way
good
to
episodes.
the Higgs boson. There are no bad Futurama episodes. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah, I agree. There are definitely some that are better than others, but you can put any on and I'll enjoy it.
Well, that is good. That we're all pretty good. Who's got the phone call? John? Metal? John? Who's
Oh, yeah, that's him. He muted himself.
Okay. I just wasn't sure whether it was you or John that had
No. My ringtone is video game music.
Hey, I'll be right back. I got to go take care of something. I guess the kid peed.
Oh, okay.
in the bed.
Ew. That's what kids do.
Yeah. 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 Unfortunately. So no possible vomitorium tomorrow?
No, I said it's possible. It just depends how long it takes for everything to happen, right? Because they have to actually finish doing the carpets. It's not just this one room. There's I think 2 full rooms that need recarpeting. So they have to tear it up.
Yeah.
I think they actually have to power wash the concrete, the foundation underneath it, dry that, put in new carpeting, and then after all that's done, I have to move everything back in because it's outside in a shed. I have to set everything back up. No, I mean it's supposed to be late morning, close to noon. So hopefully, if they don't dilly dally, a job like that doesn't take too long. If I have everything set back up somewhere between 2 and 3, then we have plenty of time for me to still run the show.
Yeah. Well, could Marsupial run the show and just you call in? Like
Yeah, he possibly could. The problem is on Wednesdays, Marsupial tends to pass out after work. And a lot of times I have to text him over and over again to get him to wake up.
Well,
So I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, I guess so.
In fact, if I check right now, let's see. I think the last text I sent him was literally last Wednesday. And it was time for the classic Wednesday check-in.
Lovely.
No, Evan wants to know, Rick, how do you think you'd do as a father?
I think I do pretty good. I've been told that I'd probably be a good father.
By who?
Some pastors and other people.
Okay, as long as it wasn't your mom, because she's kind of biased there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the iconic Wednesday check-in. Well, I have to say, your rib cages are still a tad bit bulbous at the top, but overall, this is more feminine than most of the characters you end up drawing.
Yeah, I've been told that my digital's been looking real good.
Well, you have also been using better references, usually real people, and not trying to redraw art that had probably questionable references to begin with.
Yeah, well, what I've been doing lately is I've just, even for superheroes, I grabbed it, whatever reference it is, like this.
Yeah.
I make it super big, like big enough to draw a frame, if you will.
Yeah.
Get that in there, put it thing, and then you make my reference small again and use it as...
Yeah, but even like using a real person as a reference, as opposed to like sometimes you would redraw like comic art or fan art, but even the thing you were using that as a reference probably had a questionable reference to begin with, so then you get like 2 degrees away from a questionable reference. This is just better to do.
What would I tell my kid about life I guess it depends on what's going on and what they might need to hear. Because I think that is can be
No,
different.
Rick, I know exactly what you do. You'd sit them down, put a big book on your lap, and you'd be like, okay, in the beginning, God made the heavens and the earth.
Yeah, well, there's that, but, obviously. But I think he's talking about beyond stuff like that.
Well, I mean, that is telling them about life.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I knew what murder was when I was like a toddler because of the Bible.
Yeah. Cain and Abel.
Yeah, it's like right there near the beginning. It's like you can't avoid it. You learn about adultery, all the important stuff.
Yeah. Although I think sometimes the church tries to sugarcoat all this stuff when they're telling it to kids, but
Oh yeah, they did. I had like one of those kid Bibles with all the cartoons and stuff, but my dad was like, nah, this is how it went.
yeah. I get a little bit doing that, but you don't want to do it too much kidifying stuff for kids.
Yeah. Well, see, Evan's got a good point too. It's like he's your kid. Everything he doesn't know because he's a kid. He only knows what you tell him.
Yeah. Well, he also knows what you show him and act.
Yes, but that's still part of like what you tell him about life. Like that's all part of it.
Yeah, well, what I mean by, I guess, yeah, it's sort of telling, but more what I'm trying to say is, you might not tell them certain
Your behaviors, right? Like the way you live and stuff. Yeah, well, that's still part of the telling part, though.
Yeah.
Right? You're an example for the child.
Yeah. You got to make sure you're living what you're, what you're telling them. Or trying to. Okay, so I want to do something different with this helmet on her. Jesus got boo-boos, but 3 days later he got better. Yeah, boo-boos is a very... Oh.
I like how they'll still tell you that somebody got stoned, or they'll put it in nice ways, had rocks thrown at them. But, like, kids aren't that stupid. Okay, well, that 1 second this guy had rocks thrown at him, and then the next page, he's no longer in the story. Clearly, I can make a, like, inference that he died from that act that happened to him. It's like, you're not really doing a good way of covering it up.
Yeah. Practice what you preach is lesson 1. Yeah. Then there's like, let your yeses be yeses and your no's be no.
It's okay. We got a better alternative to those kids' Bibles these days. We have the Action Bible.
Yeah. I know about it, but I've never read it.
Me neither. I see it in the store like all the time. I think I was in Hobby Lobby like last week, and I saw it right there next to the checkout. Like, I should probably pick this up, and then I didn't.
I know it's in my
John's back.
Church library at one of my churches. I might even have a copy of it. I don't know.
That's some good looking stuff, the Action Bible.
Yeah.
So, what's really weird and kind of gross?
What?
Life.
When you're a parent, you can tell the difference between the smells of your kid's urine.
I believe that.
And their farts too.
I mean, they're different people.
Yeah, my
They're
daughter's going through this weird phase where she's farting and going, "Daddy, I farted," and she's all proud of herself.
I remember that phase. I remember being in that phase.
Oh my god, she embarrassed me. I got so embarrassed. And like not like embarrassed like because nobody was there. It was just me and her. And I got so goddamn embarrassed.
How?
I says I was sitting there watching her play, right? In her playroom. And then all of a sudden she farts. I say, "Emma, you have to excuse yourself if you're gonna fart. Go to the bathroom." And she says, "I farted?" And I said, "Yes, you farted." And then she gets on all fours and she sticks her butt at me and says, "Are you gonna check my butt for farts?" I said, "God damn it, Emma." Oh shit! I didn't know what to do with myself.
That's like the little kid way of being like, prove it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joshua says Rick will teach them how to create their own comic book universe. No, I won't teach them how to create their own comic book universe. I'll just get them to work on mine. To give it over to them.
Yeah, but what happens if they're rebellious to that and they just make their own anyway?
Oh well. I'll probably end up helping them out, depending on what it's like. Let's see. Evan says, I was watching Lewis Howe, and his guest was saying, teach early what you learned late. Thoughts? Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree with it. I mean, honestly, you got to make sure they really learn it and not just be like passe about it. But what's the whole point of having experiences as a parent if you're going to make your kids go through the same torture you did?
Well, it depends on what the torture is that you went through. Some of the torture we went through was good. Some, of course, was bad, too.
Well, I mean, the stuff that's good I wouldn't define as actual torture. I mean, there's a difference between building character and doing some really, really dumb stuff that people just should not do.
All right, what are your opinions on letting them engage in activities that could kill them, even if it's not very likely? Like, for instance, climbing a very high tree.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. I climbed trees as a kid.
Well, I mean, think about it, right? If you were that worried, you just would never take a kid into a car.
Mm-hmm. Some people don't.
No, I mean, because that's the way they're most likely to die. So it's like, why would you? But you got to take them places. So it's like there's certain risks that are acceptable. And I think tree climbing builds a lot of character. So
plus, there's no way you can be with them all the time.
Letting your kids walk around the neighborhood at an early age unattended.
Well, I did it, but I don't know. It depends on the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well,
right, like you want to take
reasonable
risks.
I did it.
Right? Yeah. Like, honestly, I probably shouldn't have been walking around, especially later on. I found out there was like a child molester on each corner of my street, like opposite sides. But we were walking around anyway. So I don't know if that was a reasonable risk, but like you have to let children take reasonable risks. That's how they grow.
Yeah, I probably would to a degree. Like, I know there was an apartment complex, for lack of a better way of saying it. But I mean, what I mean, several apartments, and they were like maybe 4 stories each, and like there was 10 of them in this group. And my mom, I know, would allow me out to play when I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 by myself. So.
Man, you turned out great.
Rick, I need you to conduct a polling of your community. For what? Listen to, don't get Chris.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's another one medal. Let your female kids go to sleepovers.
Well, let's see, because there's always the risk of the father.
Like these
right?
sound like reasonable things, but when you really think
No,
about it,
I've thought about it,
pretty
yeah, right.
risky.
Because there's always the risk of the father there doing something.
Yeah, but even the woman could do
or the
something
older
too.
brother, or a cousin, or a visiting neighbor, or anything,
Yeah.
But like, if you know the person, even though it's still a risk, like it might still be a reasonable risk. But you probably definitely shouldn't do it for somebody you haven't even met yet. Like you don't know the parents or anything. That would probably be an irrational risk.
Yeah. I can't
Oh,
see.
I want to go to a sleepover at Christy's house. Who the fuck is Christy? She's my friend at school. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Question is, were you a latchkey kid?
Yes.
I don't.
Well, we didn't have a key. I had the way to get into my side window by taking the screen off. That's how I got in the house when I got home.
Oh yeah, I had to do similar things. Our back door was like a glass sliding door, and there was no cover on the locking mechanism, so I was able to stick like a twig or something in there and slide it back down to get in. But we were definitely locked outside sometimes for whole days.
Yeah, my parents were just too damn cheap to get us keys. That's the problem.
Yeah.
He's like, I need a key for the house. Well, just go in the back window. Oh, whatever, I guess.
I had ways to get in, yeah.
Yeah, same here. But
The worst part is, typically with the latchkey definition, there's like nobody home. But my mom was home the whole time. She was the one that locked us out.
Oh, that's terrible.
I wouldn't consider myself a latchkey kid personally, but there was times that I was out or whatever. My mom was usually home when I got home from school.
Well, that's very good.
So, well, me and us on the panel answered. I can't get anybody to answer it necessarily in the chat.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Evan, because he wanted the poll, right? So I figured.
I still don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
About the latchkey kid thing. My friend had to open the screen door, climb up on top, slide through his bedroom window, and climb in.
Yeah. And the thing was, sometimes I wouldn't even just go inside. I would wait until my sister got home from her school, and then shove her through the window because she was smaller. So from the time I got home to the time she got home, that was just like my free time outside. Sucked when you had to go to the bathroom though, 'cause for some reason, like other people's parents didn't like anybody else using their restrooms.
Yeah, that's weird, but it's just the way it is.
Even though everybody I knew were all trashy and every single one of their bathrooms were all filthy, they were all particular about it.
I had a very easy to slide open window in my room in high school, and I used to sneak out at night. Like right around like 1-ish, when I didn't have to worry about my parents being awake.
I know that there was a
That's
time.
late.
There was
I would have fell asleep waiting.
I know there was a time, for whatever reason, that our front door was locked, and several times I'd climb up on our roof and go in through the bathroom window, which was just small enough for me to fit, open up, climb through.
There's like a Beatles song about that.
Here's something else, right? Like, I'm all for letting my kids fall.
Mm-hmm.
I think falling is a good way to practice your balance and learn what you can and can't do without falling. However, I don't like letting my kids fall, especially the little one, because she's just learning how to walk, on the tile floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because more often than not, when she falls, she doesn't brace herself with her arm or forward. She goes right smack to the back of her head. So when she's walking around or doing her practicing walking and stuff, I insist she do it on the carpet.
Heaven says, I'd wager they're all latchkey kids. I guess ones that aren't answering.
I had stitches on my head, I think, twice at the age of 5. Both for
She's
like
one.
the same type of thing. One of them was because I slipped and fell in the shower because I was already showering by myself by the time I was 5, and I was
Onto a
just being
penis.
stupid. No, onto you know, like if you have a slide door shower and they've got like the metal railing that it goes in.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't even in the shower itself. I walked out, and I'm still a kid, so I'm not used to things, and I put too much weight onto the rug outside of the shower in front of like the toilet and stuff, and slid backwards and fell onto it. And then another time,
Shit. That's weird.
yeah. Because those things are supposed to stop you from sliding, but for some reason I slid backwards. And the other time,
this happened to me twice as an adult.
Oh, it has?
And the thing is, like, whenever I sliding on the floor. Now, I didn't have a rug, right? So it's
Yeah.
like I stepped out of the shower, and then my foot just went like you were going to do the splits, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
instead, I just grated my entire shin across that metal piece.
Oh, yeah.
And I would never think that you would get out and then fall back onto that. Once you're out of the tub, you're clear.
Yeah, but that's when it happened, right? I was 5, right? Like, all kinds of bad things happen when you're 5 because you don't understand how the world works yet. And another one, we used to get everybody involved in chores. We would take the recyclables out to the little kids, and we kept them in our garage, which was turned into a den, and had to take them all the way around through the house to the side of the garage because they just didn't feel like opening the garage door. It would be easier just to take them through the garage door. Don't ask me why. Parents are weird. So like we're running through, and I have socks on. Like I'm doing this in my socks, and I slip and fall head first into the door lining, the metal door lining between the garage and the kitchen. I think this had to be within like 6 months apart from each other too. I ended up having stitches.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
survived.
I got a concussion. I went into shock and I got stitches. Because me and my brother were climbing up the cabinet to change the TV. And the cabinet fell backwards, as it does, and fell on him. He was screaming bloody murder. He was all scraped up and bleeding and shit. But like I didn't know because I was like, "Oh, I better go tell Mom that Frank got hurt." And I walk in because the TV cracked me in the head. The TV came off and cracked me right in the fucking head, cracked my skull open. And I was like, "Hey, Mom, Frank's got hurt in the room." And then blood just started dripping down my face. And she was like, "Oh my god!" And then I passed out. I'm like, "Oh, I faint."
That's funny. I was awake.
It's almost
during
like
both,
that little portion.
Stitchings too.
Yeah, they don't put you to sleep for that stuff.
No, you know. I was worried. So the little kid was like, "Oh no, you put me to sleep." Like, well, the only way to put you to sleep is to give you a shot. It's like, "Oh no. Okay, just I'll stay awake."
No, I remember they stitched me up and they gave me a sticker had the Statue of Liberty on it, and it said, "I stood still."
Good night, Evan. Evan's taking off.
No, it was nice to see him.
Yeah. He's been appearing in my chat quite a bit lately.
He's been appearing in my chat even more than yours, though.
You wish.
Rigging his odd flexes. But I thought it was really weird because like for that little point in time, I didn't remember it happening. Like all I remember realistically was like a thump, like a pressure on my neck. I don't remember the TV coming at me or hitting me or nothing like or falling afterwards or nothing. I just remember like a pressure, like a thump on my neck, and then I remember then walking out of the room towards the kitchen to go find my mom. So that little the actual instance when it happened, I don't recall it. It's gone.
It happens. Kids are surprisingly resilient too, right? Like if there's something sharp, obviously.
Kids are surprisingly fragile. Like goddamn! Like I've had like 3 kids in my family.
You kind of
my
expect them to be fragile, right? You expect them to be super fragile, but then there's like some things out of nowhere where you're like, why did you not get damaged from this?
Yeah.
Right.
Like I remember I got ran over 2 times when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, perfectly fine. You know, when one of my extended cousins' kids, you know, falls out of the car, dies. You know what I mean? It's like fuck.
Yeah.
What? So you
like,
never know.
From an adult sense,
I can't say from my experience.
The other one.
Yes. Because if I got ran over as an adult, I'd expect to die.
Yeah. And you think, well, the kid is softer than me, so obviously they should die.
Yeah, because when you're grown, you're rigid, and when rigid things crack. I figure like you're young and you're little, you can you can get knocked around all day long on a soccer field, or and you're fine. But as an adult, you take off from the first base too fast and you pop your Achilles tendon.
Yeah. Like I remember, it was probably around the same age, like 5 or 6. A lot of stupid things happened to me at that age, but I think they probably continued happening throughout the rest of my life too, if I'm honest about it. And I was playing on like one of those wooden parks, like the multi-story wooden parks that would have like they look like fortresses. It was super popular late 80s, 90s, right? And I was playing like the second story of one of them. They're still pretty high up. Some of them anywhere between like 5 to 10 feet, depending on what part you're on. And I'm walking through, and I'm not paying attention where I'm going whatsoever. And they have like one of those like tunnels with tires that lead to like a big like tractor tire swing hanging underneath. But instead of like raising it up to where you can see it coming, it's like level with the floor. And I'm just walking, and I go just straight through the thing. It's like I just
okay. I'm gonna need you to read. Hold on, I'm gonna need you to re-describe this scenario because I didn't get it. I'm not getting it in my head.
Okay, so I'm like 10 feet up on like one of the floors of these big wooden parks, right? You know
like a wooden jungle gym.
Yeah, it was like the ones that kind of look like fortresses and stuff like that, right? They got like the castle.
Yeah, they're made out of like almost like logs, like angled cut logs and stuff.
Sometimes, yeah.
4x4s, I'd say, or 6x6s. They're made out of, right?
I mean, these things are huge. At least they have wooden parks.
Because the ones that I used to go to, I can show you right here on my drawing here. The wood kind of looked like there was 2 kinds, right? There was like the railroad tie kind of wood, where it was big and the sides were cut like this. And you can kind of, walk in them like, and then there were other ones that were just like poles, almost like telephone poles, that were cut at an angle like that. And they would stack them sideways like this, sometimes like this. You know what I mean?
I know what you're describing, but it was like here, let me just post it in. I don't know, Rick. Do you have a chat for your stream? Let me find a chat. I can post it in the stream chat, wherever the heck it is.
Yeah, you could probably post it in
Live chat.
yeah. Watching
Or
stuff
in
together.
general. Like, yeah, there we go. Watching stuff. That'll work. Watching stuff together, right? It's, darn it, the image is too big. Let me find a smaller one. It's like one of these type of parks. Right, and some of them get pretty tall at different parts.
Okay.
Never been on one of these.
Yeah, I had one right down like a mile away from where I lived. We'd walk there all the time.
I've been on something similar.
Yeah, and but it's not the one that I fell in. It was like a town over because we were there with like my church, and that one had an area that went up like probably wasn't 10, maybe somewhere between 6 to 8 feet. It's hard to judge as a little kid. And it's something that wouldn't seem like a big drop as I got older. But, like a really tiny 5-year-old. And I'm walking through, and they've got like these big tractor tires built into the platform that go down like a tunnel that you could climb up and down. And there'd be like a swing hanging from the bottom eventually. But instead of like being smart and putting one of the tires above the floor so you can like see it coming and climb over it into the tunnel, they made it level with the floor, so I didn't see it coming at all. And I'm just walking across this platform, and all of a sudden, like, I'm out of floor, and I just fall down like the 6 to 8 feet as a kid, and I'm just like hanging there from this tire that's like maybe 4 inches off the ground at best. And I'm dazed. I have no idea what's going on. But then I get up and I walk by, and I'm like thinking about that circumstance as an adult. Like, why did I not sprain something or anything when I felt like that? Like, my leg had to have gotten like jumbled inside that tire. I had to have gotten caught on something and flipped down. But it was just like a blur, and then I was gone.
Yeah, it's like a blur, like thump, 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 and then you're like, ow. But then you're like not injured.
And you just walk it off.
Yeah. At no point did you have control of what your body was doing. You just went thump, 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 but then you were okay.
Like freaking what's it? Plinko, right? It was basically Plinko. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Or like, remember when people used to do the Tony Hawk Pro Skater where you just kind of let your body fly?
Oh, you ragdoll? Yeah.
Yeah, like you just ragdoll, thump, 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 and then, I guess I didn't die. Good for me.
So Timothy said, so notice you were drawing another X-Men character, Dillard. How is that going? And then he says, that seems like a pretty big fall there, Metal.
I mean, for a 5-year-old, that is a pretty big fall. It was not like a teenager fall.
I finished that.
Nothing.
Yeah, I finished that X-Men character. I already posted it on Twitter. It was Jubilee.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
Jubilee's the best.
Go and find it and like it.
Jubilee's my second favorite X-Men character.
What?
Yeah.
Well, she's my second favorite female X-Men character.
What?
No, she's my favorite female. My favorite X-Men character is Gambit.
Yeah, I like Gambit.
What?
Rogue's the one that I like the most for female characters. I don't Wolverine.
So what is this new drawing style you're doing, Rick?
What do you mean?
Oh, how can I say that different? What is this drawing style that you're doing that is new?
Okay, what drawing style?
See if I can find a better way to phrase this. The
Well,
drawing style that you're working in nowadays is new. What's up with that?
okay. See, therein what is confused me. What drawing style are you talking about? And how does it seem new?
Okay, let me think of a different way to say this. Not Metal's, not mine, but your drawing style.
I guess what I'm saying is, as far as I'm concerned, this is not a new drawing style.
Okay. The difference is he's actually using photo reference.
No, because you remember when Rick used to draw faces, right?
Yeah.
They would be many curved lines. Now they're just kind of swooping angular lines.
Kind of
This is a
simple.
different style.
Which is better.
Yeah, because when he did the scraggly lines from the faces, they were not correct. These ones look more correct. And what my question was, what's up with that? When did this happen?
Just, I guess it happened through trying to mimic the various pictures that I've been using. Not this one this week for the face, really, but because I didn't really try and mimic.
Yeah, so the answer again is that he's actually using photo reference.
Like I didn't use any thing there, but the pose and all that I used.
Oh, I like this one better. You should just use her. And just recolor her.
Oh, what? This? Well, I'm trying to draw myself. Draw the drawing all myself. Trying to be not just recolor something.
But I thought you were a writer now.
I'm writer, artist. I'm everything. And whatever I need to be for my comics.
Just like the Apostle Paul.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was the funniest thing you could possibly say there.
Evan wants to know, Metal, how you knew all his alts.
So you see, when you're a writer, right, you have this thing called a voice that kind of shows through when you're writing. And a lot of people aren't very good at detecting it. But if you pick up on certain patterns in people's voice, it was pretty easy for people to tell when Stephen King was writing under a pen name. You're like, oh, that's just Stephen King.
Really, I can't tell. Is that because I don't read, or is that because I'm stupid?
You probably just don't have enough experience, right? Like, you get to know somebody's voice the more and more you read it.
And you can pick that up through reading chats?
Well, it was also quite a bit of, we spend time with Evan in voice calls and stuff, too.
Oh, I never did.
Yeah. Yeah, you can usually, people can't disguise how they...
Is it me, or is it Rick cutting off every now and then?
Every now and then, yeah.
What should I do? What should we do with the drunken sailor?
What can you do?
I don't know.
Now we need to know our options before we make a decision, Rick.
I think I discovered some of his alts too. When he was out around. I just didn't always say anything.
Right.
I have
That's very like you to not gloat.
I haven't used it in a long time, but I have an Evan alt. It's the Evan Brotep account.
Oh shit, you got an Evan Brotep? That's fucking tight. So I got a big problem. I feel like the universe, vis-a-vis God, is telling me not to ride this skateboard because I ordered some new wheels for it, and like there's been nothing but problems trying to get this thing like how I want it, so I don't like constantly just take headers and eat shit all day long.
Oh yeah, dude, you're gonna fracture your tailbone.
No, I mean I don't think so. But like, and then just today, I was expecting a new set of wheels, some nice big ones, and they were like the first time this has happened in ages. It was like, you weren't able to. It's undeliverable. You'll get a refund.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't even think that's ever happened to me ordering anything from Amazon. I wonder why that is.
No, apparently Evan doesn't like my answer. I don't know, man.
It's easy being able to recognize a vocal signature through texts. It's something different when you can pull off a convincing Evan impression. Huh? You're doing that?
I don't know. I guess.
Josh Von Scriver.
Oh.
There's the alternate account from Evan. Account from Joshua. Okay, I guess it's pretty easy to impersonate me.
And then I was like, yeah, after I finish dinner, I'm going to go and practice my skateboarding. And then I hurt my finger.
Oh, which, hurting your thumb is one of the most common things to happen for skateboarders. Because you end up landing wrong and you put all your weight on your thumb when you go down.
Yeah. Because this is what I figured. And I'm a dumb figurer. So this is what I figured. I figured, I used to skateboard all the time. Everywhere I went, I take my skateboard where I go. And I was never somebody that did tricks, right? But I could, this is the extent of what I could do on a skateboard. I could come to a curb, and I could lift my front wheels enough so that I don't, slam into the curb and crash. I could go up the curb and down the curb, and then when I would come to a sharp corner, I could slow down a little bit, and I could do a little bit of where you lift the front of your board up and turn a little bit.
Yeah.
I did that. That's it. That's all I could do, and then I could ride in a straight line.
You could do like a basic heel kick.
Is that what it's called?
Well, it's the start of one. Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't do any tricks. Oh, like put it this way: if I came up to a curb, I could not ollie up onto a curb. I had to find the part where it got real low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would skate around to where the curb actually went down. Then I would just kind of nose up onto it. Like if I came up to a solid curb and I had to get on it, I had to stop, pick my skateboard up, and put myself onto the sidewalk.
Oh, so you're just more of like a basic traveler than anything, kind of like people who just rollerblade places but never do tricks.
Right. Or, I would sit in the grass and try to ollie. I would never do anything else. I was never any good. But I could get around. I wasn't like, I wouldn't like fall behind if everybody was skating somewhere. I wouldn't be like, wait for me, guys, you know?
Yeah.
So
You
I
ever
figure,
hitch?
I could get on a skateboard, and it would probably take me a couple of minutes, maybe an hour or two to get back used to it.
Yeah.
It's not the case. I put my skateboard on the ground, and I was terrified.
Yeah, like I know you never did like stitching, but did you ever hitch like a ride?
Like Marty McFly?
You mean like hold on to the back of a car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, there's an
It
advanced
wasn't a
part of that.
problem
It's
because
called stitching.
I've always
where
been.
You use the car to gain speed, and you end up going faster than the car.
Oh no, I've always had my trucks pretty tight, my bushings, because I've always been heavy.
Yeah.
So like I never really experienced all of the like the speed wobbles that everybody else would get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not good at skateboarding, but I figured I'd be able to get back into it pretty quickly. And that is what I'm trying to say is that it's not the case. I'm having a very difficult time being able to get back onto even just rolling down the street and pedaling.
Yeah.
And now I have a different problem, right? Because my street is probably one of the worst streets you could ever experience when it comes to pebbles, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
And
You have a gravel
I'm
road,
not
basically.
young no more. Yeah, so I'm not young no more. I can't be taking headers left and right because of pebbles. So I figured I'm gonna go get some of these jelly wheels, right? Like from a longboard style wheel, and I'll put them on my my skateboard. That way, a lot of pebbles you can just roll over when you got them really soft wheels.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I put them on, but number one, they come with their own trucks. So I put on the trucks and I go to ride. Nobody told me this. The packaging didn't say anything. I've never had a longboard. I didn't know. But apparently longboard trucks go on reverse.
I did not know that.
So I go and I roll down the driveway and I get ready to make the turn. And as I lean to make the turn, I go the opposite direction.
Ooh.
And so I'm terrified, right? I jump off the board. And I'm like, what the hell was that? I couldn't figure it out until I was like, and I put myself on level ground, and I was like, okay. I give myself a little push. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm still going sideways. What the hell's going on? I go and I look it up. Lo and behold, you have to put them in reverse. So I put them in reverse, and so I'm like, okay, so now when I lean, I go the correct direction. However, these things stick out the side of my board like monster truck tires.
Yeah, because that's how they're associated on longboards.
Right. So I don't know, man. When you ride a skateboard, you kick pretty darn close to the rim of your board. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is not a problem on a longboard.
You almost
have
touch
way more space for that.
Right. So I'm doing it on my regular, street deck, and I run over my foot
Oh.
because they stick out that far. I run over my foot, and there I go, taking another fucking header.
Yeah, maybe.
And I'm like, God damn! It's like the world's against me.
Somehow I don't think you should be riding your skateboard.
Well, I also think in his attempt to avoid taking damage, he's probably causing even more damage to himself.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason. Well, look. Everybody says if you want to cruise around, get a cruiser or a longboard, right?
Yeah.
And that's all I really want to do is cruise around. But then I'm thinking to myself, because again I figure stuff bad. I'm not used to that. I've only ever ridden a regular street deck, a regular skateboard. So I figured it would be easier for me to get back into it if I get onto something that I'm familiar with. I'm not familiar with it anymore.
Yeah. Well, also because you're modifying it to the point that it's not familiar either. So even what you had, you're throwing that out.
Well, I tried that for a little while, what I had, and I was too scared because even at a slow speed, I skidded on a rock or a pebble, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this. So I couldn't really give it a go. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest here. I would be mortified. I would be way too embarrassed to try to go to like a public place or like a skate park, right?
Yeah.
I'm like pushing 40. Come on. So like I'm not gonna do that. So the only option is for me to just ride down the driveway and go up the street. And I can't do that because the street's just full of pebbles. And the asphalt's not even like in good shape. Like some parts of it got grass growing out of it. You know, it's cracked that bad.
What you need is
I'm trying to do what I'm trying to do.
You need a Kingston. That's what you need.
A what?
A Kingston. It's a type of longboard. You can get one from Element. Like that would be good for you. Because a Kingston it's a little longer, but it's not too different than like a street deck.
Sounds like you're having a rough week, says Timothy.
Yeah, I kind of am, yeah.
He also said, move over Tony Hawk. So when is the Dillard Pro Skater game coming out? I'd say at this point, the other side of never.
No, but maybe we could get the Buckler doing some skating stuff sometime.
Yes.
Yeah, I was never much of a skateboarder, though I hung out with a lot of them, so I know like.
Well,
how
did you not get into that of all people?
I was more into biking and rollerblades. So I was still like hanging out and doing that stuff. I just wasn't on the skateboard itself.
Timothy says, Buckler Pro Skater.
Because like we would go,
Take
like
my
I can do a
money
couple
now.
tricks.
After school,
but I wouldn't call myself a skateboarder.
Yeah, I used to skateboard to get around as a kid too. Well, in my teens or young adults. But I used to bike more, like bicycle.
Like I could, well, it's been a long time. I could probably still do like an ollie. I could probably still do a kickflip. Very basic stuff, but I wouldn't consider myself a skateboarder.
Yeah, I couldn't do any of what I think Dillard did, except for just push myself along.
I don't think that I described anything fantastic, right?
No, you didn't. But
basically, just described somebody riding around on a skateboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I couldn't even do that. I just A to B, along the sidewalk, on the sidewalk.
No, I've hit like rails on rollerblades, and I've jumped ramps and stuff on bike, and did Supermans and stuff.
Oh, hell.
That was more of the territory that I mostly stayed in.
You could pull a Superman on a bike?
Yeah. You have a good enough ramp, yeah.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what that means.
Well, that's where you have to get enough air, and you end up basically hanging behind the bike by the handles, right? But then you have to pull yourself back on before you land.
Oh, okay.
And you also have to land, without, landing on your back tire only or on your back.
Yeah.
Sounds dangerous. Sounds like something
Or
I should
not
avoid.
being able to get back to your bike in time and then landing on the bike on your belly.
Yeah. So like you practice with at first, like you ramp up, right? You start with bunny hops so that you're used to landing flat, and then you start with smaller ramps.
I can bunny
and
hop.
Yeah, almost anybody. It's like the starting thing you do if you're really getting into biking, right?
I can bunny hop right now.
Yeah. And then like you
That's
start
not
working on smaller ramps and stuff, and then eventually you hit something big. Shoot, though, I kind of stopped that one spring break. It was the dumbest thing too. It wasn't even like a ramp. I was talking to some neighborhood kids, some of the people that I used to jump with and stuff, right? And I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I turned my handlebars backwards on a bike with front brakes, and I went to go jump a what's it called, a curb, right? Or not a curb. It was a speed bump. I went to jump a speed bump down one of the streets. It's the only street in our entire neighborhood that has a speed bump. It's one of the reasons we'd go over there. We'd do like
course.
warm up with some light hops, and then we'd go onto ramps and stuff afterwards. And I jumped the speed bump, and I land wrong because my handlebars are backwards. I wasn't even paying attention to what I was doing, and I flip forward, and I fly like 20 feet into a curb.
Ouch!
And I screw my back up, and I was like out for that whole spring break.
I guess so.
It was worth it though.
So what comic is this for,
yeah.
John?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, okay. You can draw on air, but you can't say what it's for.
Next question. No, I cannot.
I guess next question is anything you would like to promote?
No.
Metal?
Next question.
Oh yeah, actually, there's something I'd like to promote. I'll drop the link in the chat if that's okay. Let me go grab it real quick. But last month, we had a whole month to take it. I was part of a project with a group of people where we made a short little video game that was pretty fun. It was called Interstice Academy Love is Blind, and it's this wacky short visual novel. It's more of a play on visual novels too, where all the routes are easy to get, and it's just like a bunch of characters you wouldn't expect to be in a visual novel. It's pretty fun.
Cool. So
You made a visual novel? Damn it, I can't get Marsupial to write my visual novel.
Yeah, I wrote multiple routes for it too. They're all short though. They were only like 20 pages worth, but yeah. And I was one
that
of the
dumb
lead
bastard.
producers.
Well, since you can't get Marsupial, maybe you should get Metal. Since he seems to be able to do
Maybe I
it.
should get Metal.
No, the next thing I want to do is make a spiritual successor to the original Final Fantasy. That's my goal.
And hello again, Pastry. How are you? Okay.
To create a free account, unlock the full magic and wonder of new grounds. Interstice Academy, Love is Blind.
Yo, Newgrounds is a great site for artists too. Like people should be posting their art there.
Yeah, I haven't posted anything there, but I should
we
start.
got author, producer, programmer, and artist.
Rebellion says, Dillard, are you calling me a dumb bastard? No, I don't think he was.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a production
I am
role
now.
on that game because I did a lot, so there was no like individual title they could put on me. Because I did like sound effects, I was guiding the artist, I wrote a couple of the routes, I was talking to the musician. I was like basically like a co-director. There was two of us that were doing all of that.
Cool.
Yeah, you were a writer.
Well,
Yeah, I wrote two routes all by myself.
Well, I'm going to promote an Indiegogo project that I have a story in called Trolls Exposed. If anybody wants to go check it out, maybe get a copy. You can get digital there too. They're doing, I think, a 2-month campaign, $500 flexible goal, so everybody's going to get the book no matter what. And they're over halfway there already, so people want to go check that out. Everybody says those who call me a dumb bastard is even a dumber bastard. So.
Oh, damn it! She got me.
And Timothy agreed with her. I think he's agreeing with her.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to thank John and Metal for coming on. Been great having them both on. So, I was going to say especially Metal since he hasn't been on in quite some time. But it's just as great to have Dillard here. And I will see everybody tomorrow.
Shut up, Brick. I hate you so much.
And like to thank all the chat for being here. And I will see everybody tomorrow. Drawing up my coloring up my comic. Timothy says Legend has returned and outsmarted. Rebellious wants to know, Dylan, are you streaming so I can roast him more? So he...
No. Everybody else, yes, I am streaming.
Okay, so we'll catch you all later. Bye for now. God bless. Love you all.